Welcome to the Bullits and Bourbon podcast, where it's not about the bourbon, but more about who you share it with.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bullits and Bourbon. Today we're bringing you a special event episode, something that is new for us and also very, very cool opportunity. You hear the background noise, you know it's not our normal quiet, subdued episodes that we do Mondays and Wednesdays and Saturdays and wherever the hell we do it.
Yeah.
But today's a really cool day because we are broadcasting from Liberty Pole Spirits in Grand Old PA for their 1/8. Right?
1/8.
1/8 anniversary.
So what does that 1/8 mean, Jason?
So 1/8. Well, the one is the first anniversary in their new amazingly beautiful distillery campus. So last year at this time, they opened up, had a wonderful grand opening here off of, I don't know how to say it, Adios Drive, but basically down in North Fayette, right, north of Washington County, Pennsylvania, next to the Meadowlands Casino. Great venue with just tons of stuff right around there, to be accessible. And they're beautiful distillery and one of the most gorgeous rick houses, but just a warm, wonderful meeting house that is just big, it's beautiful, and it really is just a treat to have in our backyard.
Oh, really?
So, and then the 8th is their 8th year of being in operation, and that's a big deal. So, in 8 years, they went from a nice, cool, cozy, really historical place down in Washington that will forever be in the hearts of all Liberty Pole fans and in the local community to this just amazing campus that has everything that you would want. I mean, live music. Today we're doing a luau. It's a luau theme. Yeah.
And why is it a luau theme today, Anna?
Well, I would like to think specifically because of the bottle that was specially released.
Yeah, I would think so too.
So today they did a special bottle. It's just barrel 545.
549.
Or 549, sorry. And this was a barrel that Dan, you and I actually got to have our input in.
Yeah.
Which is it's always special when you get to taste something before it hits.
Yeah.
But everybody that day that we were in the distillery, we all kind of concluded it had kind of a tropical feel to it.
Yeah, it had a little small undertones of pineapple, I'd say, but not overwhelming. But you could taste a little pineapple, which I've never had in bourbon before.
A little pineapple. It just felt luau-y, if that's a word.
Yeah, I
don't know if that's a word.
Tropical.
Yeah, luau-y.
Yeah, I go tropical.
Okay. Well, we'll stick with. I'm going to go with luau-y. So a really, really, really amazing bottle, single barrel rye whiskey. It checks in at 113.1 proof. We're going to crack it. What's unique about this bottle is that it was hand dipped in wax, which is something that's going to make it stand out from the other bottles. And it's really a standout barrel from all the other barrels. And Liberty Pole has become really great at choosing barrels that are unique in character.
Oh, yeah.
But, we were talking with Rob earlier about, it's really good every now and then, even if somebody may not necessarily like this particular, bottle, maybe it doesn't hit their palate the right way. But this one is so different from the normal things that you would get out of even the single barrels.
Yeah.
It's just a standout. It's not finished. It's not any of that stuff. It's just good old-fashioned single barrel rye whiskey, and it just had some magical notes to it. And there weren't many. 150 some odd bottles came out of this barrel. So, it's dark. It's beautiful. I wish we had, we're able to do video today, but we'll get pictures of probably a half-empty bottle up at some point.
Definitely.
And then, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Old Monongahela Foolproof Rye Whiskey, which Liberty Pole just, released within the last 6 months. And this was really paying homage to the Old Monongahela way of doing business, the rye. And, they had a rye before. The rye before was excellent, but the Monongahela Foolproof Rye, that's a puncher.
I know the bottle I got, it's empty. Definitely need to go ahead and restock while we're here.
Yeah, I mean, this checks in at 105 proof, and they really have made this now. This is a mainstay.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely wonderful. For those who don't know that maybe haven't listened to other episodes, but I had to be walked into rye. And I was a bourbon guy. I was a Jack guy. I was a bourbon guy. And, you bought me that bottle of Burr Rye. High West Burr Rye. And then I came down to Liberty Pole, and, I went to go buy their bourbon. And their bourbon's enjoyable. I love it. It's good. But Jim Hough, who's the founder and just a wonderful friend and fam, he said, hey, try this. Gave me some rye. And he walked me into rye. And it's oftentimes now you'll hear me say, I think rye has replaced bourbon as my favorite. And I can't tell you why. It's just, you like what you like, and you go from there. So, your thoughts, because, you weren't much of a rye drinker either.
I mean, I liked rye, but it wasn't my staple in my collection or my go-to. But their Monongahela rye, some of their high ryes, definitely something you need to have for your collection. Great everyday sippers. The price point's not going to break your wallet.
No, it's very reasonable.
Very, very reasonable. But, I mean, the great thing about this event that I'm really enjoying, we get to try multiple cocktails while we're here. And it looks like you keep going back for the same cocktail as I'm mixing it up.
Yeah, so they have, it's number one, it's hot as balls.
Oh, it's almost 90 degrees
Yeah, it's
here.
90 degrees, and, so I'm going to be in good, I'm going to be all right when I get down to Florida in 2 days, because I'm already going to have been broken in. But, so I went with the bourbon slushy, and I don't know the name of this. I just walked up to the bar, and, we're friends with the staff. We love them. I looked at Jim, and I'm like, I need slushy. He goes, I got you. And I was like, and Dan needs spicy. You're drinking some mango spice.
Yeah, it's a
thing.
mango spice. I had this a couple of years ago when they were at their old one for the Whiskey Rebellion, and it was good.
You're right.
But I started off today with the Louisiana Punch. Very good, not too sweet. Very enjoyable for this hot day. But this mango punch with the little chili pepper in there.
Hitting right?
It's hitting perfect.
It's hitting right,
It's going to go good with that smoked pig they got.
You're going to, Well, let's end the episode right now.
Oh, yeah, no. we're about to.
So we're going to do this a little bit differently for everybody that's heard us before. We usually have a continuous episode, and we're going to be having some just walk-ups and sit down and tell us about what they love about Liberty Pole and whiskey, and maybe we do a little Q&A. We're really looking forward to having Jim and Ellen and Kevin and Rob, and we are going to kidnap Jeff, who is the manager do-all of everything. He restores order around here, and tie him to a chair and get him on in front of the microphone, and just kind of get their thoughts on what it's been like, not just the last year, which has been great. I know from our viewpoint as friends and consumers, right? I'm not just an advertiser, I'm a user. Was that Rogaine commercial or whatever it is? Is that Viagra? I'm not just an owner, I'm a user. But the last 8 years, the journey from where they were
to where they are.
Yeah. And
but I think the amazing thing, too, this is a closed event. You had to get tickets in advance. They had 250 tickets. They're completely sold out.
Oh, it's packed.
It's absolutely packed, which is crazy that they sold out days ago for this event. And it's absolutely, everybody's decked out in their Hawaiian shirts, their leis. It's definitely, so far, it's been a great time.
Yeah, no, I can't echo that enough. It's you got good people, you got smiles, you got great food, you got even better whiskey, and everybody's in a great mood. It's hot. But that doesn't seem to matter a lot.
Doesn't matter.
And we'd be remiss. We have to talk really quick about Sam.
Oh, yeah, Just the Tip cigars.
Yep, Just the Tip.
I think it's great that they have, a little cigar section here where you can go have a cigar, relax, enjoy a pour. He's been pretty steady all day, which is great.
Yeah. Well, it's a testament. He's really great at finding good cigars, pairs them up. I don't even look anymore. I just say, Sam, just give me something that, whatever. It's short or long, or more about that stuff. I let God take the wheel. You just
put it in your mouth, right?
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
A little hawk too. Spit on that thing, right? But one thing that Sam did, and I feel really compelled that we share this. So he walked up to us today, and he gave us.
I thought he was coin checking us the way he dropped us, and I was like, oh man, I don't.
So
have
he presented us with two challenge coins. On one side, it says Just the Tip Cigars. On the other side, he had our logo engraved.
No, it doesn't say Just the Tip Cigars on the back.
U.S. Air Force.
So it's the U.S. Air Force.
And I just thought that was just an incredibly wonderful gesture and friendship that we've made Now, on my coin, the creator of the coin decided to take a little bit of blue painter's tape, and in front of the Air Force part, hand wrote in
Oh,
CH.
it's on my coin
Oh,
as
it's on
well.
yours too, yeah. So it actually says Chair Force.
And it's right on that Air Force side of the coin, too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, we shots fired. But Sam, thank you so much for that generous gift and being just a great friend to us. And for everybody else, we're going to take a pause and we're going to come back to you with a guest here in a couple. And until then, just hang out and we'll bring more content.
All right, you guys. Talk to you soon.
Everybody, welcome back to our special event podcast here at Liberty Pole Spirits, and we have one of the Houghs. We tracked down Rob Hough finally. He has been an elusive character to get on the podcast.
Yeah, and he sneaked out on the last one.
He did, yeah.
I almost snuck out of this one, too.
Yeah, I know, I watched it. So, but no mas. So,
Yep.
so we're very fortunate to have Rob here and sitting with us and just join the podcast and kind of give his thoughts on everything that's going on. And Dan, we talked about kind of how special this is for
Oh, it's
the group.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, not just for, I'm sure you guys, but
Yeah.
for those of us who have watched you guys kind of just really grow. And this is a big deal for us as well. So
well, thank you guys.
I gotta know. It is a two-part question.
Yeah.
When you look back over the last year and then the last 8 years, what has this experience been? Has it been harder the last year than the previous 7, or
So-
has it been a little bit easier now?
So a little bit of both. The real challenge, at least whenever it pertains to what I do here at Liberty Pole, is kind of working through exactly what we want the whiskey to taste like. So in that regards, I feel like the first 3 to 4 years were a little tougher,
Yeah.
where you're constantly looking for feedback. How's the whiskey taste? What do we do here? Collecting data, sampling, going back, changing, adjusting, and growing, right? And then doing that through 5-gallon barrels over the course of 3 months, kind of locking those in, making a minor tweak up as you jump up to 10-gallon barrels, minor tweak up to 15, 25s, and then finally up to 53s. So
Yeah.
that was almost a 7-year process for us before we had our first real 53-gallon barrel whiskey that was aged 3 years, that was made exactly the way that we want it to be.
Yeah.
So to me, that was kind of the toughest part of that. Once we moved here, this place is set up for exactly what we need. So
Right.
in a lot of ways, in a lot of different ways, things became convenient almost, because we were able to set this place up exactly how we wanted it to. But that being said, it's a challenge. The more attention you have on you, it's
The bar raises.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember very distinctly coming into the old place down in Washington.
Washington.
Little Washington. Little Washington.
Little Washington. And I mean, that place will always hold a special place in our hearts, I'm sure,
Yes,
for you
ours
as
as
well.
well.
But on several occasions, as you were, you guys were doing a single barrel labeling, and you guys are crammed in the back in the label machine, and it's like, you could tell it was getting a little bit much.
Yep.
Line out the door.
Yep. And it's funny because at the old place, whenever we'd have to bottle, one of my challenges for all of us in the back was bottling took over the space.
Yeah.
So you'd need to make sure that you were done with everything else, or everything else was on hold until you were done bottling. So you'd start the bottling, and then there was a little bit of pressure to get it done, get it cleaned up, and get it out of there so you could go back to your regular job. And it's funny because then we moved to this new location where now we have a designated bottling space.
Yeah.
But what I didn't account for is now you have things going on simultaneously. So it's new challenges, but this is exactly the way it should be.
So, now that you have this great space, so do you find yourself, what do you find yourself doing the most now? When from your day to day, is it the blending, or is it not the blending, but the choosing the barrels,
Yeah, that's a good question. It goes in waves. The drumbeat of receiving grains, milling grains, mashing grains, and then running the stills up through barreling, that is super consistent. And I feel like that takes up most of our effort, is those kind of filling barrels. but that might be recency bias because we've had a lot of product in bottles recently, so I haven't done too much blending. I know here over the next couple months we'll start blending for all the September, October, November kind of rushes. So I'll probably have a different answer if you ask me that in October. But yeah, I feel most of the time we're spent filling barrels. That being said, whenever we blend, I do think that's one of the more important things we do here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it seems like every time we pop in,
they're always sampling something. Doesn't matter what what day of the week.
You have to.
We pop in and
you have to know the product.
I think I told Jennifer, I was like, hey, we're going to swing in really quick. I got to grab something.
Yeah.
And I was like, you want to come in? She's like, no, because every time we go in, we got to pick the kids up.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, it's a good idea. So you're going to be the anchor. I'll be out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was there's. You know how there are lies we tell ourselves? That's one of those lies, right? Because last time we came in...
We came to pick up my bottle last time, and that's when they were doing
the pick for this.
Yeah. Pick for this one, yeah.
So I think it's always just really neat to come in and you see the process, the evolution of this, and then especially knowing you guys, and seeing the growth and just seeing how...
Yeah.
You know, the different characters that I love that part. You never know, you know, what's going to kind of occur when you come in and kind of socialize with you. So,
well, that's awesome. We get so fired up that people enjoy this process as much as we do.
Right?
That's what he talks about all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I would say all the time. I mean, so is it bad? You're telling me I'm the only person that will fall asleep and dream of like finding a case of like Pappy on the side of the road? I'm the only person. I'm not the only. I can't be the only person, right?
Well, no. I'm just saying. You
make it
love
sound
coming
weird.
in and seeing the back and forth between Rob and Kevin.
Oh yeah.
That's what everybody
pure
talks
comedy.
about.
Yeah.
Is the back and forth between Rob and Kevin.
No, we're nice to each other. Yeah.
That's as nice as brothers can be, right?
Yeah, we're very nice to each other.
Yeah. That is certainly a highlight. Sometimes it's even more enjoyable when you walk in and you see Jeff's face. And he's kind of like...
Jeff does a good job. He stays neutral.
He does.
I try to get him to jump on my side every once in a while, but he stays neutral.
You need a referee.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say. You know, when Jim and Kevin came over, you know, and by the way had good food.
Yeah.
You know, it's your guys' turn again. How many times did Kevin throw Rob under the bus?
This is your chance to get back and throw Kevin under the bus as much as you want.
No. I do that too much off the podcast.
Yeah. No, I think it's really such a unique thing to see. I mean, your mom and dad, and Ellen is just, she's loved by everybody.
She's unbelievable.
I mean, we got to...
She never stops.
No. And we were really blessed to sit in when you guys started the day off and you made the toast and she did her speech.
Yeah.
And I think that was just, it captures the essence of this family that you guys have collectively, to everybody, to Jim and Jeff and Matt and everybody that pours their heart into the operation.
Yep.
Well, I think it's one of those things. If you had a reality show between him and Kev, mom and dad, it would be absolutely insane. Like, she was out here earlier with her cigar, bourbon in one hand.
I don't know if anyone would want to watch that.
Yeah. If that doesn't just embrace the whiskey world, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like I told Kevin and your dad Jim when they were over. I'm like, we really need to get her published with the cocktails, the Bible.
Yeah. You guys will have to ask Chef Alex. I think about a week or two ago, he got a picture of her in the kitchen. I think late on a Friday night, she's got her backwards hat on, sitting there with a whiskey in one hand and her notebook in the other hand, just kind of like yelling out ideas for what's going to happen this Saturday.
We need it. We need to get our hands on that picture.
That picture is unbelievable.
I still remember one of the fondest memories was I went by the old distillery and I want to say I had both Oliver and Milo with us that day. Yeah. So, and I brought him in and your dad's like, well, come on back. And immediately they vectored off and Ellen made them like homemade lemonades. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, how amazing is that? And then
Yep,
it
she's
almost,
known for that.
You know, because up until then, his favorite lemonade was his grandmother's hands down.
Yep.
But I was close.
Yep.
There was some competition in there.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So she comes up with a lot of the cocktails.
Yeah,
And a
that's-
lot of the cocktails are absolutely phenomenal,
Oh,
yeah. Yep.
hands down.
Yep.
Every one of them I've tried, I loved.
Yep.
So which one of your favorite cocktails that Mom has put
It's
together?
kind of a cop out. This Bradford, Louisiana Punch is definitely one of my favorites.
It is good.
It has a soft spot in all of our hearts. It's actually the original Liberty Pole cocktail.
Okay.
Yep. So that was developed in my parents' kitchen the night before grand opening day.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Mixing pineapple juice with Basset Town and trying to figure out exactly how to bring this home in a professional way.
Yeah.
Late addition of ginger, and then here we are 8 years later still making cocktails. So it's kind of funny. It's one of the simpler ones we've done just because of its roots being from our Square One days.
Yeah.
It's one of the simpler ones, but I don't think it'll ever leave the menu. It's the original. So
It is.
Yeah.
It is delicious. I have to
Yeah.
tell you, I sucked down 3 of the
yeah.
Slushies.
Almost. I mean, fat kids
Those
love slushies.
slushies
you know?
are fantastic.
Oh, they're good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I do have a soft spot for peaches and bourbon too.
I do.
Yeah, she makes a peaches and bourbon cocktail that's fantastic. I think that's August. So
that's one that I've tried to replicate.
yeah.
And that was before I had the one here.
Yep.
I think I was at a bar at some hotel, and it was just hot, and I was like, I want to. What do you have this refreshing but whiskey? And they're like, well, peach smash, basically.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I think I had like 9 of these things. I mean, they're just because they're juice.
Well, it's so hard because they got the Louisiana Punch, the mango, what's
Spice.
the mango
Spicy mango.
Spicy mango. Yep.
The spicy mango. Oh man,
Yep.
that's good.
Yep. And then the Rebel Tea.
I haven't
Yep.
tried the Rebel Tea yet.
Yep.
Yep. The Rebel Tea's good.
And what's
Yeah.
really cool is that, for those that don't know, and you're anywhere near southwest Pennsylvania, and by what I mean anywhere near West Virginia, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, anywhere in those areas, every month these flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yep.
you're always gonna have an old fashioned.
Yep.
You always have the kind of the common ones, but every month it's like, all right, what's up next?
Yep.
And-
That's the goal. Is we don't want to switch them out so much that it's a guessing game what you're getting whenever you come into.
Yep.
But we do switch them up enough that
It's fresh.
Yeah. That it's always
Yeah.
fresh. Exactly. And it's seasonal.
Yeah.
And it's seasonal. So.
So I look forward to the winter ones.
I was gonna say the winter ones are.
The
pretty
winter
good,
ones
too.
are always kind of, because of how cozy, especially
Yep.
in the facility.
Yep.
You come in, you sit down, you got the meeting house, the fire's roaring.
Yep.
You get
Spiced
to-
whiskey season.
Oh, spiced
The
whiskey
old wool
season.
sweater. She used to serve it out of those, out of the like they were like pottery.
Yeah, like Cluvine cups almost.
Yeah, like they're clay cups.
Yeah.
They're drinking the old wool sweater. That was fantastic.
And you get, a bowl of soup or something.
Yep.
And just kind of.
Yep.
Oh, it's so
Yep.
enjoyable.
Yeah. I was like cuddle up. That's kind of weird. But,
my other favorite drink is. Do you guys ever have the Concord Crush?
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
It's like a
soaks
creamsicle.
she soaks these grapes, and it's
Yeah.
this like weird purple drink. It's like vibrant
Oh, yeah,
purple,
yeah.
vibrant purple, but it's like this bitter grape drink. That's
Really good.
I enjoy that. It's a winter drink. I think that's Concord grape season. Don't fact check me on that one.
Was it a December or no? Maybe it was November.
I think it's a winter drink, but
Yeah.
it definitely kind of feels a little bit like a summer one.
Yeah. I think you could probably pull it off all the time.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean, it gives you something to look forward to. So.
Thank you.
So, I gotta know. I've we did this with Kevin and Jim.
Yep.
And your dad Jim.
Yep.
When they're
Yep.
over. Your top 3 Liberty Pole single barrel releases. I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah.
All right, let me think through this for a second.
There's been a lot.
Yes,
and there will be a lot more.
Yes, there has. Okay, all right. I think I'm about there. So I'm gonna throw number 3 is we'll say pecan pie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Everybody's top three.
Top 3.
So I've never really said this out loud. I don't think that's all that good whiskey, right? And Kev will probably punch me whenever he hears me say that on the podcast. It's fantastic. It's just it's off profile, and I'm not pumped with the actual juice itself. But the package of it does have this overwhelming kind of like walnut maple flavor to it, and it really does drive home this pecan pie flavor. So the packaging on that is unbelievable. So for that reason, I think that's a super memorable single barrel. Next up is Weeded Terrier.
I will agree with you on the Weeded Terrier.
I love Weeded Terrier. Textbook weeded bourbon.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. I do think we have a chalk on another, so we haven't been able to single barrel too many bourbons, just based on kind of what our stocks are like and what the barrels tasting like. I do think we chalked a weeded bourbon for single barrel release here in the next month or so. And it's basically weeded terrier with another 2 years age on it. So it's going to be fantastic. I'm excited for this one. And you guys will, I don't know if anybody will remember this, Grapes of Rye.
I still have a Grapes of Rye.
Is my favorite single barrel we've ever done.
Really?
Yes, I think that rye whiskey is absolutely fantastic.
I remember that one particularly. Normally everybody, I try to get 2 bottles, one for enjoyment and one for
The same
enjoyment to save for when you run out.
Yeah.
I should have bought 17 of the pecan pie because I'm down to my last one.
You know what? I'll change my answer on pecan pie too. Tarragon pineapple. Number 3.
That was
do you
another,
remember Tarragon
yeah,
pineapple?
Yeah.
So we released.
They were together.
So that was the first time. One of our favorite days of the year is the day before Thanksgiving. That Wednesday, we do 3 single barrels. We've done it 2 years in a row.
Yep.
And we have so much fun. We think it's a fantastic day.
Yeah.
Stock up for the holidays. Come on. Most people have Wednesday to kind of bounce around. So we do 3 single barrels. Good chance to stock up for Thanksgiving, Christmas, an opportunity to actually enjoy these bottles with your family and friends, right? So the first year we did the 3, it was baked apple, tarragon pineapple, and holiday embers. And
holiday embers.
Yeah,
you're
holiday
right.
embers was a fantastic pour.
Yes, it was.
It had this it was a peated bourbon, right?
Yep.
And it didn't have, to me, it was like a little soft on the peat, but it was heavy on the smoke.
Yeah.
Right? And so Mom named that one, actually, and I was like, that's a perfect name. Campfire going out, holiday embers.
Yep.
Tarragon pineapple, as a distiller here, honestly, I was just impressed with Tarragon pineapple for the age on that. I've had a lot of barrels at 3.5 years that still aren't quite to the level that Tarragon pineapple was at 2. So there was something really memorable about that barrel. That would be number 3. It just got a fantastic spot in the warehouse. Conditions all merged together, and I think that was slightly over 2 years whenever we single barreled it. And it was, it's to this day, I still have a couple in the office, and I'll constantly reference it whenever we're sampling other barrels. It's kind of our baseline rye at the moment. So
No kid. Okay.
yeah,
So,
and if I could throw in one more, it's not even a single barrel.
Yeah.
The release of high rye bourbon we did whenever we opened up this new location.
Yes.
That was a mix of 2, and that is definitely my favorite whiskey that we've put out of here. Yeah.
I found a bottle of that.
Yeah, I actually had to trade back for them.
You gotta trade for your own whiskey.
We didn't save any of them here. We didn't think to do that.
Right.
And then next thing you know, we couldn't find any of them. So I started sending out text messages to everyone, like, oh, you guys. And luckily, we found a couple. It was Aaron Hayduke. Shout out. Thank you very much.
Aaron's gold. Aaron will save the day.
Traded us back 2 of them. So we have those back in the library to reference whenever we start pulling out more high rye bourbons.
I think I had finished one, and I was cleaning out the bottom of the bar. Remember, I had the shelf accident.
Yeah.
And I had got 36 bottles fall off the shelf and hit the ground.
Yep.
And mess everywhere. And I pulled out. I was like, oh, look what I just found. I was so excited. It was like Christmas. It was like, you lose them.
Yep. Yep.
Monongahela.
Yep.
That one. I mean, we had to grab another one.
Yep.
What your thoughts so far on this wonderful?
We are so proud of this Old Monongahela Foolproof Rye. Kind of behind the scenes, we loved the quality of the single barrels that we were putting out, and we wanted to have those all the time.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to search around the rick house and looking for a single barrel and trying to name it. It's just a fine line between being creative and connecting the dots for people, and then also being gimmicky. So we wanted to continue to be able to do single barrels, but we didn't want to have to force them, and we wanted our standard quality, high proof whiskey available all the time.
Yeah.
So born out of that was Old Monongahela Foolproof Rye, and we couldn't be more excited. We're on our 2nd batch of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if anybody's talked about the batch numbers on the side of them.
Yeah, I don't. So this will be my first batch too, because I bought a ton of the batch one.
Yep.
And we've run through them pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, it's tough because as good as I cut my teeth on rye with the original rye. That was my introduction to rye.
Yep.
And now it's like I feel disloyal because now I'm like, I really love this as my daily rye, or the rye I enjoy. I mean,
it's exciting for us because, so as much as it's a product that should be available all the time, we also don't hold ourselves to a crazy specific standard.
Yeah.
So we'll let ourselves veer a little bit batch to batch, kind of depending on, every time we blend, like, hey, what are we dealing with today? What can we play up? Do we want to promote consistency? Do we want to kind of go a little bit weird with this batch? So we're only 2 into it, so nothing too crazy yet, but batch 1,
stellar.
some of the most herbal rye I've ever tasted. That was really the goal, was playing up that kind of like rosemary, tarragon, those herb spices.
Yeah.
Batch 2, we kind of like sanded the edges off a little bit, and it's a little more like that older oak, more of like a like a blueberry. Like it's more of like a fruity older older oak style. So, I honestly don't have a favorite out of the 2, and I enjoy the consistency with a slight variance between them. So we're loving the ability to kind of like play around and play up different styles. Yeah.
So got to ask you this, Liberty pull aside.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 favorite whiskeys that you enjoy outside of what you guys create?
So I'm a big fan of Wild Turkey 101. Big fan of Old Grandad Bonded.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Old Grandad Bonded is fantastic. Yeah, with the idea. So I believe they do corn, and then I believe they cook up the rye at about 50%. So you get like some spicy flavors out of it. Gelatinize that high temp, and then start to bring it down. Add the second half of rye, where you get a little bit more of a floral rye aspect too. So I enjoy that kind of well-rounded rye aspect out of it. We're a big fan of that Old Grandad. And the third one, I have to do some thinking here. I've got a bottle of Peerless at home that I really like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was the pick, yeah. It was the pick.
Everybody talks about that Peerless Ladies pick.
I've enjoyed pretty much everything I've had out of them.
Yeah.
I'm also a sucker for barrel bourbon.
I love barrel
like just
too.
about everything. I know they're not a distillery, so I don't know if this counts, but I've enjoyed just about everything I've ever had out of them.
Everything, I don't know. I would call them a blender distillery.
Yeah.
I have not had a bad bottle from them, whether it's Seagrass, New Year,
Seagrass was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. I mean, Jared just picked me up a bottle of something new that I found. I enjoy that creativeness of the blending and stuff. To me, it's, I mean, they seem to have just said, you know what, I'm all right with us just being us. We're
100%.
We're not going to distill.
Yep, they have some awesome whiskey, and they're fantastic blenders.
Go forth and
incredibly creative.
Yeah. And it's about enjoying it, and so I can completely agree with that. I love the Wild Turkey. I love the 101 because
but what do you like a little bit more than the 101 from Wild Turkey now?
Well,
see, I'm in the minority, or I don't know if it's minority or majority, but I like Wild Turkey a little better than Russell's.
Yeah,
I like the oaky style of the Wild Turkey brand.
Well, we need to have Rob over to have a taste of that voyage.
My whiskey so far of the year, I got 3. I love as much as I love the Amberana bourbon that you guys did. When the rye one came out.
Did you like the rye?
Oh, yeah, that one.
I like the just straight the bourbon at Amberana.
Yeah, you like that one more. I like
that
the
more
rye
than the
one.
high rye.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can give an edge to either one of those. I kind of enjoy them both.
Yeah. The second one, the first one was great. So I'll preface this by I actually sent samples of that bourbon, the Amberana, off to a buddy of mine that's a big whiskey guy. He has a group of guys that they hang out and do whiskey. I said, listen, I need you to settle an argument. Just simple. Which one do you like better? I'm going to give you 2 big bottles to sample.
Yep.
And I sent them off with yours and with Rio. And it was hands down Liberty Pull.
That's awesome.
And that says something. Now, and it's not a knock on Penelope Rio because it's good. But
I love Rio.
It was. They felt that the Penelope Rio in that instance was more of a desserty.
Yeah, they put. I think it's a mix of Amberana and honey barrels, right?
Yeah.
It's the cinnamon in the Rio is more predominant.
Yeah.
And you taste more of the cinnamon where the Liberty Pull, it's there, but it's not overpowering.
It doesn't steal anything away from the whiskey.
I'm incredibly impressed with Rio. What I like with our whiskeys is with these pot stilled whiskeys, they tend to come out so viscous and grainy that we can really put a lot of finishing flavor into
Yeah.
it without overpowering.
Without
it.
overpowering
Yeah,
it.
the stuff that's coming out of the rickhouse can stand up to finishing cooperage, blending very, very well these days.
So that's my one, and then the other day we did Wild Turkey Masters Keep Voyage. And,
I haven't had that one yet.
That's why we gotta have you.
That's
over.
why I had you. It was.
It will be my number one whiskey for the year.
You
Yeah.
enjoy it?
Oh my goodness,
It
it's
was.
incredible.
It was the most complete whiskey in flavor and finish and nose
Yep.
that I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And I was shocked because there's been people who've been very negative about it. Everybody's different, so you never know what you're going to get with
Yeah.
it. But it was that's one. But I don't think people appreciate just Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah.
Or Rare Breed, or Kentucky Spirit. They're always on the shelf, and I think people tend to play the game of like, well, it can't be great if I don't have to saw my arm off or sell my child for it. Definitely need to get you over for a pour of that.
100%.
It's his bottle, so I don't. I say we
He
do
doesn't mind giving it away. I don't mind because I drink enough of his whiskey, so it's just fair.
I'll just give away his stuff. And
Yeah.
say screw it. So tell us, what's the next evolution? What do you see in the next year? When we go to 2.9, we go from 1.8 to 2.9.
Yep. So the next evolution is just a continuing to lock into our processes, right? And we're getting close. So I think we're honing in on final stage, kind of like where we ultimately want to be at. We may see another age, or we may see another year on the age statement before too long.
Wow.
Yeah, but other than that, it's just continue to push out some of the best Monongahela foolproof rye that we can.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot more high rye bourbon.
I love it.
And a lot more peated rye. To me, that's a fantastic Pennsylvania distillery lineup.
Yeah.
So, we're putting through a lot of rye in the stills.
It cleaves to the heritage too.
Yes. Yes, 100%. And plus, that's what we know the best. We're the most comfortable working with the rye, distilling it, aging it. So, it makes a lot of sense. Yep. We also like drinking it the best. So.
Which doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
So, I guess, as we know, we got to let you go and get back out there and mingle and do everything that needs to be done. What is, to kind of round it off, what is the one biggest challenge right now for you guys? Is it, manpower? Is it workload? Is it being a father with a newborn baby at home?
That.
Wife would kick his butt.
The easiest part of my day is coming to work. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. The biggest challenge is definitely a work-life balance thing, and then the other one is with the whiskey aging so long, it's just kind of that see into the future. What products do you need? How old do you want them to be? So, where do you want to taste? And where do you want to position yourself? So, kind of that like forecasting and seeing in the future, and deciding exactly what path we want to take as we continue forward. That's probably the toughest thing at the moment. So,
well, you guys are nailing it.
not that the cocktail bar is easy. That's probably the cocktail bar is probably the real toughest part of this business. So.
It is good.
Yeah.
Well, and the food.
Yeah.
I mean, we've not really talked much about the munchies, but
The flatbread's phenomenal.
Chef Alec is
he's an all-star.
come in and
an
he's
all-star.
delivered some combos.
We're incredibly lucky to have him.
Yeah.
The speaking kind of food, that's the other thing we're excited for. There'll be a lot more finished whiskeys from us coming out here in the future. So, not huge on finishing, but I personally went in a little bit of a kick. These guys kind of had to reel me in a little bit.
Yeah.
But we never had aged whiskey to finish before.
Right.
You
Yeah.
always have a white whiskey, but you have enough aged whiskey to be able to take away from your standard products to finish it. And once we started doing that, we went a little gung ho putting them into barrels. So between rum finishes, toasted barrels, we've got some interesting stuff.
Oh, I can't wait for the toasted
toasted barrel.
barrel.
The toasted barrel, the rum and the toasted will both probably be out before Halloween, and they are.
Dibs. Bin.
I personally really like them. So
Well, that'll. I mean, you always have. There's a certain group that is without a doubt, you'll sell a bottle at least. You actually have to limit us on it for the most part. It's like you can't have a dozen.
Well, not so much anymore. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, we always appreciate. We wish we could. I'd love. I'd love
but it wouldn't
more.
be fair.
Yeah,
you got to spread love.
Well, it's cool. These days we're able to do a couple barrels each time we do something.
Yeah,
so in which case
awesome.
then we don't have to worry about that so much anymore.
Nice.
But I think it speaks to the growth. It speaks to the product. I mean, you can love something and not enjoy it, though, right? Or you can love something and really enjoy it. It kind of proves in the lines that wrap around the parking lot and the interactions and the 200 and some odd. How many people do you think are here?
Yeah. Well, like I said, bring it around full circle. Thank you guys so much for being here because it's exactly what we said at the beginning. We're just excited that people care about this stuff as much as we do. That's the best part of this job.
So I got one question. Have you seen a huge growth since you guys gone online, selling online now?
Yeah,
a little bit. It's a different ball game selling online.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems to be going well. That's more of a question for Kev than me, but it seems to be going well. Monongahela Rye is something that a lot of people really seem to care about.
Yeah.
It has such a fantastic story. It has such deep roots. We're right in the heart of it. Batch distilling. This is a very true to form Monongahela Rye, and the story is something that people seem to care about. So we're fortunate for that regards.
Yeah, that's a really cool question because I know that for the last couple of years, actually since. Well, it's been 4 summers now. I end up muling whiskey down to Florida.
Yeah.
And this is the first summer I don't have to load my car down with Liberty Pole.
Yeah.
Because you guys shipped it to Florida. So
really?
It's like
very nice.
There's been this. I got to do it for my brother, but he doesn't count.
Yeah, because you got a couple of the limited releases.
Yeah,
that you're not going to be able to get online.
Yeah, we don't talk about Juno, man. Like, come on. But yeah, I mean, there was I think the high point was last summer when it was 6 cases. I was driving down. And
don't get pulled over.
Yeah, no. Or don't catch fire, right? but yeah, I'm curious to watch it grow online and for people to get the opportunity to enjoy it that are in Texas, throughout the country, because they see us talk about it, and it's like the same people that talk about their whiskey in another state. I'm just sitting there madly jealous, like. I wish I could have that, you know.
Yep.
So I think it's super cool now that gets to reach people, all over.
Yep, that's awesome.
That's a privilege.
I agree.
Brother, we cannot thank you enough. Thank you for hosting us and welcoming us. And
guys, thank you very much for having me on. This is a blast.
Now this does not count. This does not count.
Have stayed away for so long.
Yeah, I know. So next time you come over, and you got to bring Mom and Kevin and Jim and
we'll get it on the calendar.
Yep, we'll do it. It'll be the family episode. And we need a referee.
Might need to bring Jeff in.
But Rob, we love you and thank you. And anytime you're welcome to hop on. And I can't wait for what you guys are doing.
Thank you guys. This has been an absolute blast.
You bet, man. Anytime.
Yep.
And we're gonna take a break until the next one. Who should we kidnap? Should we kidnap Jeff?
Yeah, gotta get Jeff on.
We gotta get Jeff on here. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. Cheers. We'll be back soon. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bullits Bourbon, our special event recording for the day, and we've had some amazing guests on. Now we get to have Ellen. Mom. We get to have Mom on, and Ellen and Jim started this wonderful, amazing family owned distillery, and 8 years ago, 8. This is the year anniversary, but 8 years ago, they took a chance. They turned a dream into a reality. Thank God, because that family now is extended to the greater part of Pittsburgh and beyond. And for those that have never been down here, get down here and meet the Houghs and meet Ellen, because she is just mom to everybody, and just we love every time we get a chance to talk with you. So Ellen, thank you for being on. And just thank you for having us, especially. It was amazing.
What was your favorite part of the day?
My favorite part of the day. Okay, so It may still come if we can wrangle Jeff and throw him in front of a microphone. Although the odds are slimming. He's dodged good. No, I tell you, having the opportunity to meet Marianne Eves and Matt Obenauer and talk with them, what an amazing inspiration. I'm a father of a daughter, and she's grown, and she was so super empowering to listen to. Her journey is amazing. I think that God, I wish more girls and women could hear her and just go do it. Go chase that dream, because I will stand firmly behind. I've said this many times. I think that women have a superior palate than men, and I'll leave it at that. And so I think that they are. It's just able to do some amazing things, especially in the whiskey world, in the whiskey industry, and that was really cool. And we got Rob on here too.
Not the fanboy.
Rob is fabulous.
Yeah, I know what?
I'm really
I
proud of him.
fanboyed out bad, didn't I?
Rob was a difficult child. He had a very sensitive taste, so from a mom's point of view, it was difficult to feed him. And I used to do it. He's still mad at me. I used to go, "Oh, I forget that you don't like this, you don't like that. That's what we're having for dinner tonight, and I'm sorry you forget. Don't like it. It's just eat it. You'll be fine." But it is the best thing in the world. We do a lot of cocktail recipes with him. I always run every cocktail by him because I really want to see what a picky person would pick. If you're going to drink whiskey, though, a picky person is the person you want distilling it.
Yeah.
And he was built for that job. So from my standpoint as his mom, I feel like he was absolutely made for this moment, and it has been such joy to actually see him come into fruition, come to his everything that is perfect about him is there. Kevin is not bad either. If you got the chance to visit Kevin is a little bit tighter with the money than Rob. So there's that, but we would not be successful without the skills of the four of us. And I think that's when the boys approached us at the beginning. Jim and I started it just for the fact of trying to hire people, save a legend, and it's the end of our careers.
Right. Yeah.
So let's do something magical.
A legacy to
And
have.
the boys we want to join you, and you say to the boys, we can't pay you because you make the whiskey, you put it away for 4 years, if that, hopefully longer. You don't make the money till later. And when they joined, Kevin sat there at the dinner table that night and said, "Mom, Dad, we all have different skills. This would be a good thing to do for all four of us." And so every day I see them, and it is a joy. It's a joy, and their talents are really coming through with whiskey. And I think you find that with any whiskey distillery. I'm not saying it as a proud mom. I think some of the best whiskeys come from families who've actually cared about it and worked on making it a quality product. So we're just part of that long line, but when you're actually part of it, it's a gift.
Well, and it's got to be pretty awesome to come to work every day and you have both your boys there.
Anyway, everyone says that.
Yeah.
It is. They go, "Hey, Mom, how's it going?" I walk in, ask about the kids. "How's your babies?" That's the best part. And then when you're actually seeing them find a good barrel, and the four of us stand around that good barrel and go, "This is going to work. This is going to be
Magic.
A gift from God. We are there." Who does that with their kids? I've actually gotten to the point where I feel bad for the other mothers who go, "My son's a brain surgeon." You go, "That's great. That's great."
When's the last time you had a whiskey with your kid?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Well, I can go through hundreds of times that I visited and the funny things that I've witnessed. Like Kevin and Rob going back and forth arguing, and Jeff kind of standing in the middle with this look of like, I can't.
Well, I think the family fights are good, Jason.
Oh, 100%.
To say that, I don't think it's a bad fight.
No.
And I think from a mom's point of view, a lot of moms say that they are so happy to be with, I have a family reunion and I enjoy that 7 minutes with my child that I get to talk to them at a family reunion. For us, it is arguing about quality.
Yeah.
And that presents a better quality product. I'm not right all the time, Rob's not right all the time. It presents a better quality product when you're arguing.
Yeah.
So I like the family fights.
I think it's heartwarming.
Oh, thanks.
And
But how often are you going to hear a mom say, "I like this family fight"?
But I like
I know.
to fight with me, Rob,
Yeah.
because you teach me so much more. I grow so much better.
Well, but it's true because
It's
it
nature.
comes from a place of wanting to have something that is perfect. I mean, we'll never be perfect, but when we strive for perfection, we end up getting pretty great, and that kind of mantra, it's on display, and it's a really cool dynamic. I told Rob one of the earliest memories I have was bringing Milo and Oliver in to pick up a bottle, I think. And they were young. They were smaller than they are now. It's been a while, actually.
It is.
Jim took me in the back, and you immediately pulled Milo and Oliver in, and you made them lemonade. And it was such a huge mark on Oliver.
Well, I do believe that small children should learn tasting notes.
Exactly.
Even if it's a mocktail.
Yeah, I mean, the younger you start them, the sooner they can invest in the industry. And
They
become
can
masters of
invest
distillers.
in life. Investing in the beauty of nature.
Yes.
And whether it's wine or whatever, when you teach a small child that we're not drinking to be intoxicated,
Right.
that we're drinking to appreciate what nature has wrought, work of human hands,
Yeah.
then they become more perfectionists themselves.
That's true.
I guarantee that from the young employees that we've had early on, watching them become perfectionists, that is beautiful for everybody. It's
Yeah.
beautiful for everybody.
No, you're right. That's well put. I think.
Even if it was just a nice lemonade, your kids are on the right track.
Exactly. Now, Dan has become quite the fan of cocktails.
Yeah, well, mainly your cocktails. I'm not a big cocktail drinker. And when I came down to Liberty Pool the first time, we sat out there, we had some flatbread, and we had some cocktails. And then when we had Kevin and Jim on, they explained to me that you're responsible for the cocktails.
I knew this already.
You know what I thought was? I thought that you could just ask a bartender and they would give you recipes. But I learned that bartenders have what they call programs. I'm sure you've talked about this before. And that they don't just give you a recipe. That recipe is part of their repertoire when they get a job and they make it only at the restaurant that hires them. That was a huge shock. And so I started reading and researching. And you would go to a restaurant and you would find out that tequila, you would find out that rum, everything sells better than whiskey. Most bartenders only know Manhattans and Old Fashions anyway. So it's been a real experience. I'm an engineer by heart anyway, and I have, of course, retired to work here. And engineering cocktails is fabulously fun. And then you get to meet USBG bartenders. There are some great bartenders in Pittsburgh, and they ask me for my recipes for whiskey cocktails. And I've always said, you have these sophisticated whiskey drinkers. Most of your listeners are that. They know taste. I want to show that taste.
Yeah.
And so in order to do that, the whiskey has to pop through. And so for you who say don't normally drink cocktails, you're probably thinking of that sugary cocktail that you get on the beach, which I love, a good rum.
See, I don't like the big sugary and sweet ones.
But
I do.
But suddenly to be able to incorporate whiskey flavors, so we have 48 that we use every year that work well. But the problem is, every year our whiskey gets a different character.
Yeah.
We keep it as the same as we can, but the character has built and grown. Yeah. And so you have to adjust the ingredients on a whiskey cocktail that you don't normally do with a vodka cocktail. And that has been, I met David Wonderidge. Of course, he wrote the history of cocktails. And when I met him, he said to me, the better your whiskey, the more simple the cocktail. And I have followed that rule ever since.
Yeah.
Ever since.
And you can really tell because your cocktails are so enjoyable from
Thank you.
the Louisiana punch to the mango to the
Right. The Louisiana Punch that we have right now was the first cocktail we ever served. And then we try to balance it so that there's something of everything. There's a peated bourbon cocktail, a bourbon cocktail, a rye. Every month you get to see the expressions of our whiskeys explored with other flavors. It's more of an adventure here than it is just your average, I'm going to go in and have sex on the beach or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
This is just an exploration of the cocktails.
It's interesting because the one thing I'd always get was a smoked old fashioned, right? But I won't. I can't. Not when you come in. I mean, I'm on hunch number.
Yeah, there's a lot of cups right there.
And I almost felt bashful because when Marianne E sat down, she was drinking neat, and then she got a cocktail, and I'm like, I really feel inadequate at the moment. But I'm like, you know what? These are so good. I'm having my slushies. But I gotta know. I know that this has been asked before, and will be asked probably 500 more times in the next couple of weeks. When are we going to get the Whiskey Cocktail Bible by Ellen Hough?
Oh, geez, I even have an editor. They're all we're ready to go.
We'll sponsor. You've got advertisers.
I promise I will. I have about I think I told you earlier today, I have 153 really bad cocktail recipes. And then I have 48 that we rotate through over the years and just tweak every time. So I would tell you that when the book is published, it's going to say tweak it to your taste because that's the beauty of whiskey. And the more sophisticated whiskey drinker you are, the more you're going to be able to enjoy a whiskey cocktail because you know how to adjust it to bring forward the whiskey flavors.
Yeah. Well, the other big one I like is like the cold coffee or espresso one that you make.
Oh, yes. But you have espresso matters. I get it from 19 Coffee Company. They're just brand new. They started when we did. And I find they have the same family orientation. They're out of Bethel Park. And they bring me the espresso. I can't find anything better. And not saying anything about your normal coffee companies, but I do believe that when you have a high quality whiskey, you're not mixing it with crap. You're going to mix it with something that has high quality so that the flavor of both the high quality coffee and the high quality whiskey
and it really
show
does
through.
pop. I don't like cold coffee drinks, but that cocktail was like
You had like 3 in a row.
3 in a row the one
I'm surprised
afternoon.
your heart didn't explode.
Well, it was like 11 o'clock, and I was like, why not?
Yeah.
But
that
it
night
was
did
good.
not end well for you, if my mind's correct.
Oh, yeah. That
That
was one
should
of those
be a
nights.
breakfast cocktail too, because it's got bourbon cream in it. It's perfect. Perfect in bed. Perfect if you're serving breakfast in bed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get that written in the book.
So a lot of people don't know that you are a Scotch lover.
Yeah.
Particularly
Thanks for asking.
peated Scotch.
I love Isla.
You love Island. So I am slowly walking Dan into that. I bumped my head, woke up one morning and was on the phone with Brian, and he was ordering all my peated Scotches. I just fell in love with it like that. So when it comes to peated Scotch, what is your favorite 3 that are out there?
Ardbeg, Lagavulin. Oh, that's tough. Because it depends now. Usually I like Ardbeg. Everyone's talking about that Ardbeg has raised their price so much it's unapproachable.
Yeah.
But usually whatever they make, and then Lagavulin is fabulous. And then anything, even Kilhoman has started to release some really good, but Lefroy 32, Lefroy 28, any of those are good. It just depends sort of on my mood. I think what's interesting is I read a lot of research on whiskey, and you find that whiskey seems to trigger frontal lobe. And so frontal lobe triggers memories. And so a lot of people will say they like Scotch because it reminds them of either a pipe smoking grandfather or a dirt cellar in some grandma's house with all her canned goods.
Memory or something.
It's always a memory. And the people that don't like Scotch are usually saying the same thing. I don't like it because of a bad memory. So I find that when Jim started, I said to him, you don't make good Scotch. Is there any way that you could do something for me? And that's where the peated came from. And I still choose both the peated bourbon. A lot of people have asked me, what's your favorite peated?
Yeah.
That High Tides single barrel
High Tides.
that we released with the salt in it. I thought I was drinking something from
coast.
Isla, and it was weird because that was made with corn in it, and
So weird, but yeah, you're right.
But
That
it
is
was
one of the
so
big ones.
delicious.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge Scotch fan, but I love our whiskeys because I think the boys always are trying to impress me
Oh, yeah.
with that same character of long finish and a deep, rich mouthfeel that you find in good peated scotches. So even if I'm drinking our rye, I love it because they've managed to what do I want to say? They've managed to make that experience available to me.
That's awesome. We're blessed with such history and knowledge.
Oh, exactly.
It's so special. And I know we have, unfortunately, we got to wrap because we're going to go do the Liberty Pole
It's
raising.
time for the
It's
pole.
time
For
for
the
raising.
pole.
Ellen, thank you so much for what you've done for the community and for us, the friendship that you bring to everybody, us.
Keep up the quality podcast. It helps
you.
educate people on the beauty of whiskey, and so you play a very important role in distilling world. You really
I
do.
appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts. We love you and we look forward to it.
Ellen
and
is
we are
super
going
hot.
to let you go.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Ellen.
Jason. Bye, you guys.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the special episode of Bullits Bourbon, where we are broadcasting from Liberty Pole, doing their 1/8 anniversary, 1 year in their new beautiful Liberty Pole Distillery campus, and the 8th year of being Liberty Pole, which thank God that they started this endeavor 8 years ago, and we're blessed to have such a beautiful place and beautiful people to share this day with. So we caught the ever elusive distillery do-all man of the day.
That's what I like to call him, the referee between Rob
The
and Kev.
referee,
Most
the
definitely.
general, the master and commander, the one that makes this place thump. Jeff
You guys are
Deems.
way too kind. Thank you.
Well, we have witnessed the real of what goes on. So, Jeff, thanks for letting us hijack you. I know you thought you were in the clear.
I was kind of running around a little bit there, but you grabbed me just in time.
Yeah. So, we know it's been a crazy, just wonderful day. And you have been up literally since yesterday, right?
Correct.
Because you had to put it all together, and then you ended up doing pig duty.
There were a few of us, but it was not the worst job in the world. We sat around and had a few whiskeys and had a few chats, and it was a good night.
Cigar.
Maybe some cigars too.
Spun the meat around.
Yeah. There are worse things to do with your night. So.
That is
I mean,
very,
it sounds
very
like my typical night. It's gonna be around,
Have a cigar. Yeah.
with the whiskey, cigar,
whiskey,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear God. Well, it's you. What do you usually drink? Is it chicken cock?
No, that it's chicken con.
So, no. So tell us. I mean, this is a cool experience because you've been with Liberty Pole for a very, very long time.
Yes, sir.
And you have been such an integral part. I mean, the heartbeat.
Well,
again,
you're very kind, but it's been a real honor to be a part of it since pretty much the beginning. And there's no other place I'd rather be.
Yeah. Well, I know every time we come in, you're busy.
Yeah.
And how many times that you and I have tried to tempt him over to the house for pours.
I'm too busy. Got too
you
much
do.
on my
I mean,
plate.
I'm
to
working.
your defense, you do work, and I mean you got to pay bills, right?
Right,
And
right.
somebody's got to make sure that the order is the chaos is controlled, right? So
I try.
So tell us what is one of the things that you're looking forward to in the next year? I mean, we cleared 1.8, we're looking at 2.9.
Yeah.
So what's cool, and what are you looking forward to?
I think the fact that we've been here for a year now and kind of have everything dialed in, and we're able to ramp things up a little bit. With our ability to get into other states now, we just think everything's going to really pick up from this point on and really get the name out there. There's a lot of people, even in this area, that come in and say, we never heard of you, we didn't know you were here. But they come in just to check us out, and I think, like I said, the name's really going to get out here in the next year and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, branching out to the States, we talked with Rob a little bit about it before, but what an incredible way to save me from having to haul whiskey down south.
Right.
But for everybody to have the opportunity, now I don't have to figure out a way.
Yeah.
I can, you go to the website, you order Monongahela, peated, whatever
Yep.
you want. merchandise.
Yep.
And they got cool merch. We hope after seeing this.
I want that Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah,
100%.
So Jeff has got on the dopest Hawaiian shirt that you could have. on.
This is a one-of-a-kind Jeff Deems special here.
So yeah, we need to get this. We need to slap a copyright on it called
Right.
Jeff Deems Liberty Pole hula shirt.
Well, I'll tell you what. I
Blue
would
Avenue.
not be surprised next year if they're selling these.
Oh, straight up. I mean, I'd buy one.
I'd buy one.
There's a good chance, yeah.
I'd pair that and matching pair of Speedos. I'd rock that out.
Oh, I bet.
All right, forget it. We're not doing it anymore.
No, what are you talking? Wait, I feel insulted by that. I just, honestly, I understand. No, I think it's a great way to get the brand out there. But really, at the core of it is how good the whiskey is. I mean,
Thank you.
your favorite barrel pick. Your favorite barrel pick that you can remember. Actually, top three. We got to ask.
Yeah,
man.
top three. We did top three with Rob.
Applewood is number one.
Really?
So the single barrel rye that we put out not too long ago.
Yeah, that
That's one of yours?
was maybe 4 or 5 months ago, maybe.
Not very long. Yeah, it was I think it was the last single barrel rye. Number two would probably be Raspberry, single barrel bourbon.
Yeah.
Man, number three. Going to go back a couple years. Holiday Embers, the peated bourbon from a couple years ago around Thanksgiving time. That was a really good one too for a peated option.
Yeah. That's so not pecan pie or fresh squeeze or Harold's Barrel, huh?
I love Harold's Barrels.
Yeah, I do too.
that was a really great one. I have all of those early single barrels, and they're all really special and really great. And I do drink them. I've been saving them for a long time. I'm starting to try and work through them now.
Yeah.
But these last few, the whiskey just keeps getting better.
It does.
In my humble, biased opinion,
Yeah.
It keeps getting better. And so these last few have been really cool.
So one of the things that we had talked about with Rob was I am still. You're right. Number one, the whiskey does keep getting better. And you had to walk into the pot still rye and pot still bourbon, and now you have a real deep appreciation for it and enjoyment for it.
100%.
But we are noticing that the whiskey is just consistently becoming deeper and just more just. I don't even know what the right word is, but more versed.
Yeah.
It's just got more character to it. Yeah. I'm curious to see what happens after this summer, because this is summer 2 now for that barrel move with all that movement and jostling and the liquid sloshing around. You put it on a tractor trailer. I mean, you guys worked your ass off last year getting those barrels. I mean, I know it was only 3 miles away.
It wasn't far, but it was 661 barrels that we moved 10 at a time on a trailer.
10 at a time on a trailer.
So it was a hard weekend, but
you're not picking up paper towels.
No.
I mean, these are 450 pounds, 500.
Yeah.
Well, more than that probably.
About 500 pounds.
About 500 pounds. So.
But having this barrel house, which as far as we know, the only open air rick house in Pennsylvania, has been really, really special. We've already noticed some really big differences in the way we used to age the barrels, which was the best we could do at the time, but that was good. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And so this barrel house has been really critical to that whiskey getting better and better, and we really appreciate everybody kind of hanging with us through those early years and getting us to this point. So.
Well, it is amazing, and you referenced the barrel house. What people need to understand is that when you have a proper barrel house, and the big dogs in Kentucky, they have these massive 15,000. I probably am going to undercut this 15,000 plus barrel.
40 or 50,000.
40 or 50,000, right? Yeah. And these things cause the heat to trap in, and they cause air to flow differently, and you get temperature fluctuations, and all this is done to get that barrel to heave and hoe and to kind of open and close and open and close. But what's unique about this barrel house here is that you literally, from all points of the barrel house, you have an airflow point that's of equal distance.
Yep.
And so you're getting a consistency. I remember when the grand opening. Remember we had the massive thunderstorm that day, and we got locked in the barrel house. And
terrible place to get locked in.
Yeah, I'm gonna die. I'm
What are
gonna
we
die
gonna do?
happy as shit. Okay, tornado batch right there. But I'm watching the barrel house itself. The shell, the outside structure, the skin is moving. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if a lot of people understand that all it is a skin. Mm-hmm. The rick itself, the wooden ricks, are massive creations that go up 5 stories, 4 stories? 5 stories. And this is, this is amazingly large to us here in Western Pennsylvania because it is the one and only.
Right.
But like you said, you go down to Bardstown and you walk in some of those, mega.
Yeah.
Mega.
And they've
size.
got multiple of those on the property.
Right. So I mean, we got room for 2 and 3.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I look at it. So
No, we are really excited about the barrel house. It was like priority number 1 for us, I think, to have that really proper whiskey aging environment. But the fact that it is so small compared to the ones you see down in Kentucky is actually an advantage, we think.
Yeah.
Because of that reason, there's not a barrel in the barrel house that isn't getting airflow, that isn't getting temperature fluctuation. You know, when we're talking about 50,000 barrels, there are sweet spots and there's dead spots, right? There's not a dead spot in here. Every barrel is getting plenty of air, plenty of temperature. We think it's really going to elevate the whiskey just that much more.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I think that this facility does provide this amazing opportunity to really kind of age the whiskey properly.
Correct.
and get more elements out. Have you recognized your sweet spots yet?
You know what? We think that the whole barrel house is a sweet spot. But the fact that it is so small, there's not a barrel in there that is farther away from a door or a window than 30, 40 feet.
Yeah.
There's no dead spots. Everything in there is getting plenty of air, plenty of temperature fluctuation, everything that barrel needs to make some really good whiskey. So we kind of like the fact that it's so small, and it may be small, but it's mighty.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, if you get to the point where you outgrow it, great, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We build another.
Yep.
So what are we at capacity wise right now?
So it'll hold 3,600 barrels.
Yep.
Right now we're a little over 1,000, so about a third full right now. And we figure in the next few years, we'll be getting pretty close to being full.
Yeah. And then it's time.
Then it's time to start planning number 2.
You have a discussion, yeah.
Right.
So I still will maintain that we need to hire an artist, and we need to put the Liberty Pole Girl
I would love that. Yeah.
across the top, or number 2, or up on the hill.
Yeah, it's a big
overlooking.
blank canvas there.
Yeah,
we need to put something on there.
I'm just spitballing here, but I can't think of a better
We should
way.
put a big picture of you up there, I think, holding the Liberty Pole. In your Speedo.
That's a lot of
with your
Speedo.
Hawaiian shirt. Yeah.
Oh.
That's a lot of space. I don't think there's enough space on there.
That's a lot of Speedo, too. That's a lot of consumer complaints is what that is. But I appreciate it. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever want to drink anything in there. I mean, that's me, right? So, no, Jeff, man, I sincerely appreciate it. I know you are a man of many trades here. You keep the order. It's always, always when we come down here, I see you and you're working, you're keeping it in order, and it's just 10 minutes to sit down with us and just BS, and just for us to be able to tell you from the outside looking in what an amazing job you've done, for Liberty Pole, and we're appreciative as a consumer, a customer, and somebody that really cares about the Liberty Pole family. I know that I'm saying exactly what everybody that knows you, and everybody at the Liberty Pole family would say, which is no surprise.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment. I really appreciate it, and you guys mean just as much to us for all your support, and you're getting our name out there and talking to people about it and sending people this way. So it's a big team effort.
It is 100%. Next stop is we got to get you over to the house.
Yeah.
A little
I'm
brisket,
ready.
little brisket, little ribs, little chicken cock.
Yeah, you tell me when.
we can do that. Again, Jeff, thanks so much. Guys, thank you for tuning in today. We're lucky. We're going to end with Jeff, which is, we didn't know if we were going to be able to grab him. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I noticed you're trying to keep it short and sweet so we can hopefully get him back on.
Yeah, you see right through it?
Oh, yeah.
It's my pleasure.
He's
Thank
looking
you.
at me like, I got shit to do, right? I got shit to do. I don't blame you. No.
We're ready to party now.
Yeah. Now it's time for them to eat and them to get some drinks. Well deserved and well earned. To all the listeners out there, thank you for a wonderful day. This is going to be a special episode. We're probably going to split this up. As always, tune in to any number of the different channels, Spotify, all that garbage. What's the other thing?
YouTube and Patreon.
Patreon, yeah. I'm not a great marketer for those sites. I can't remember. But as always, we say this all the time. We do mean it. Stay thirsty, my friends. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast of Bullits and Bourbon. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.